Awesome. Okay, we are going to get started here. Let's bring the share screen up. And here we go. Okay, so welcome to our Healthy Living event tonight, where we're going to hopefully inspire everybody who is tuning in, whether you're live or catching the replay. I am here helping families thrive, but you know what? It really isn't just me. It is, we have a whole army of people who are inspiring healthy living. I really loved updating this to the whole, we are helping families thrive. And we're going to dive right in so that we can get through this information. It is going to be a lot in a very short amount of time. It's kind of like, condensed, scratching the surface. And I hope that it opens everybody up to thinking about what the next move is going to be when it comes to your health and wellness journey. Because really, when we look at the numbers, even on this slide here, the last couple of years, we have been living in a little bit of a lot of a health crisis. And even before the famous flu. These are the statistics that we're looking at. There's 1 in 4 people who will die of heart disease, 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by the year 2050. And you know what? There is a good chance that might even happen sooner than that. 1 in 5 children are obese. Now, all of these statistics are based on the United States. I am tuning in from Canada. Our numbers are very similar, except those first 2, heart disease and cancer, are flipped. So in Canada, number 1 cause of death is cancer, and second is heart disease. And what's really alarming is at the bottom of the slide, you can see that our children are actually more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. And that was a statistic that was brought to our attention by Dr. David Katz, who is from Yale University. And all of this information is cited from evidence. Everything that we're going to share and teach tonight is all based on science. It's proven methods, and I'm excited to dive into it with you guys because it's going to be probably different than anything that you've ever heard before. And where we're going to start is with some environmental toxins, because they are increasing around us forever. And you can see from this slide that it's in our water, it's in our land. It's just this cycle of us every day being exposed to environmental toxins from pollution, water contaminants, pesticides, prescription and over-the-counter drugs, chemicals. Cheryl and I are both from the hair industry, and chemicals is a big one for us in our environment. Skincare products, hair care products, and plastics. I'm sure there's a lot more that I haven't even mentioned, but that's the short list of some of the things that we're exposed to every day that we just don't have a lot of control over. And then we're going to scratch the surface here on the food quality is decreasing. So if you've seen any of the shows out there on the quality of the soil that we are growing our foods in today, there's strong evidence. And one of the statistics is that more than 50% of what Americans are eating is also processed. So not only are the good foods nutrient deficient, but most of the diet is coming from processed foods. And those processed foods have things in them like preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, growth hormones, genetically modified organisms. They are less nutritional. They have pesticides. Some of them contain trans fats, and a lot of it contains artificial colors. So you can see that this is a list of things that really, when consumed from our body, it acts as foreign invaders. And if our body doesn't know what to do with it, I'm going to share what happens in a couple slides down from here on what happens inside our bodies. So broccoli, as an example, could lose anywhere from 50 to 80% of its key nutrients before you've even purchased it. If it's picked before it's fully developed, that's part of it. When it is picked, it's going to lose the nutritional density every day that passes by between when it's picked and when you get to eat it. So that's where that statistic came from. and what we can do to be healthier. So everything that we share in our health and wellness community is really kind of guided around these principles of moving our body with daily exercise, or most days anyways, quality sleep, 7 to 8 hours a night. Most people, I think, are getting close to that. I think it depends on how many children you may have or their ages. Stress management is something that we like to talk about. Drinking the sufficient amount of water, using safer products, and eating real foods. So this is kind of like our core structure of what we like to share in our community. So let's just talk about the food part for a second. Let's focus on the fruits and vegetables. So experts agree that most diseases are preventable with good nutrition, and so much so that it could actually save your life. And the reason for this is, let's talk about oxidative stress and antioxidants for a second here. So oxidative stress is basically, we don't have any control over our bodies oxidizing every day when we wake up. Like, it is something that just happens. We're getting hit with free radicals all the time, and oxidative stress is what happens. And the only antidote to being able to slow down that oxidative stress is by using or consuming antioxidants. So oxidative stress is the bad side. It causes aging and disease. The good side is that the antioxidants are coming from our fruits and vegetables to help protect our cells as much as possible. So in the image here, you can see when you cut an apple in half, it starts to turn brown. Sprinkle a little bit of lemon juice on the side of that apple, and it helps to protect. It slows down that oxidation. Which is why the good news isn't that fruits and vegetables are just good for you. It's so good for you that they could actually save your life. And that was from Time magazine way back in 2003. It hasn't changed. And 1 in 10 adults, only 1 in 10 adults, sorry, consume enough fruits and vegetables every day. Yeah, 1 in 10. So we actually need between 7 and 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. And that number comes from most cancer societies, that in order to protect ourselves from diseases like cancer, we need to consume anywhere between 7 and 13 servings every single day. And if you're an athlete or somebody like Cheryl and I, who are exposed to chemicals in our environment as hairstylists, it is even more. It could be upwards of 20, depending on the type of oxidative stresses that our bodies are exposed to. So why so many? We already touched on it a little bit. The produce is picked before it nutritionally develops most of the time. It's transported thousands of miles, losing its nutritional density with every passing day. And 90% of Americans Canadians too, don't typically eat enough servings. So we just don't get the variety either. We tend to only stick to the fruits and vegetables that we like, right? So in some cases, if you only like a certain amount, couple different varieties of fruits and vegetables, it's the ones that you stick to are the ones that you end up eating on the regular. This diagram here I love because it shows the difference between supplements and nutrition. There's a big difference. So multivitamins versus whole food. So on the one side of the screen, you can see that there's a supplements facts label, and there's like units. So it's isolated vitamins. You can see that there's vitamin C in there. So what they've done to get the vitamin C is they've taken an orange, which is high in vitamin C. They've been able to extract or isolate the vitamin C, and then they group it together with some other vitamins that are good for you. But in an isolated form, it's very poorly absorbed because our bodies can't recognize it as easily as it could if it was coming from whole food like an apple. On the other side of the screen, you can see that there's a short list there. There's about 400 different nutrients that are listed there that come from an apple. And there's actually upwards of 10,000 different phytonutrients, vitamin C being one of them, in an apple. So when we take an isolated vitamin like vitamin C, that's just one. So just when we eat the whole piece of fruit, it's working synergistically. Our body knows how to absorb everything from the apple. And another thing that happens with multivitamins is sometimes vitamins, when they're in an isolated form, they can fight for absorption. So if your body, like, how do I explain it? Basically, if you have an abundance of one vitamin, another vitamin is going to fight for absorption for it, which is going to create an imbalance. And you just don't get that when it comes to eating real food. And then at the bottom of the screen, it shares that 70% of Americans are trying to fill the gaps with multivitamins. And a multivitamin only has a few isolated nutrients, but an apple has approximately 10,000 working synergistically. So they're working together in harmony. And research shows that isolated vitamins do more harm than good. I've actually read research where they took a group of smokers. This was many decades ago. They took a group of smokers when multivitamins were first coming out into the market. And the theory was that the group of smokers were going to be, it was a 10-year study, the group of smokers were going to be healthier after the 10-year mark than the people who weren't taking, they were on the placebo. And the two groups, they actually had to pull the study because at the 8-year mark, the people who were on the multivitamins were very sick compared to the smokers who were on the placebo. So that was strong evidence that the multivitamins were doing more harm than good. The other thing that I've learned is that when it comes to multivitamins, it's somebody's idea of a recipe that they think would be a good formula for a body, when really the best formula ever is just eating the fruit or eating the vegetable. All right, next slide here. All right, let's just a quick little note about me. So I'm Tara Anglis. I'm from a small cottage city, not even a city, village in Ontario, Canada. This is me kayaking in my backyard. We live on a river. I'm a stepmom of 4, soon to be grandma of 2. We have 1 and 1 on the way grandkids. I'm a retired hairstylist. I was exhausted and toxic hairstylist into thriving healthpreneur now. I am a freedom seeker, and humor and joy are a must for me. So if you want to hang out with me, humor and joy are going to be a part of that. In my 20s and 30s, though, I had some pretty big dips. I worked for a family business, and my career skyrocketed in my early 20s. Like, it was great. Was in a relationship with my now ex. We ended up getting a divorce, went to therapy. When I started, at that point, I was also starting to resent my job because I was making more money for other people's gains. It just felt like I was doing more and working harder, but it wasn't necessarily reflecting when it came to the bank account. And it just felt like everything was wash, rinse, repeat. It was Groundhog Day. And then like 5 years into my career, new relationship, still with him, everything's wonderful. At that time in the relationship, we wanted to have babies. Didn't happen for us. Thankfully, he brought 4 children into the relationship. Did go back to therapy just to make sure that everything was kosher pickles. I think that whenever somebody has a dip in their life, it's important to talk to people about it. And so at that time, I mean, things were fine, right? But my life kind of felt a little bit crappy. I was tired, I was exhausted. I had gone through, I was working in a toxic career. I'd gone through a whole bunch of fertility, drugs really that they give you when you're going through that stuff. And there was more month at the end of the money. So it kind of all spiraled in a very short amount of time, a 5-year span. Everything was great, but everything wasn't great. it just led to a point where I was worried about everything. I created this worry in my body, and it just started to be in my mind, in my body, and things started to show up for me health-wise. Wasn't really paying attention to my health at that time. I thought everything was great, but when I started to learn more, I discovered that I could do better than what I was doing. So the thing that I decided to jump into, I learned about these raw whole food powdered fruit and vegetable concentrates in a capsule. I started to learn how to grow my own food that was free from herbicides, free from pesticides, free from fungicides. I was able to take more control over cleaning out my tired and exhausted body. And 7 years later, here I am teaching it out to the world. It's information that needs to be shared. And what those capsules are that I was holding in my hand is what we call the Juice Plus products. This is our essentials line. It's nutrition from over 30. When we add the omegas in, it's over 35 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. It's so easy to add that into your diet every day. It's all whole foods that are harvested at peak ripeness. So the company actually tests the fruits and vegetables for the highest density of antioxidants so that all the nutrition is still intact. They take the produce and then it's pulverized, so they crush it all up. When I talked about that orange and the vitamin C earlier, you can actually picture them they use the whole orange. They use the inside that we eat. They use the seeds that are inside. They use the white part of the skin, the orange part of the skin. There's actually more vitamin C in the orange part of the skin than anywhere else. And they actually use a bit of the stem as part of that too. So you can just imagine how much more nutrient dense the nutrition is that we're getting from that orange versus if we were to peel it at home and eat it. So it's pulverized, dried into powders at low temperatures, which is key to help preserve the nutrients. We know all the nutrients are still intact because there's traces, like there's enzymes still in the product, and enzymes are more fragile than nutrients. So we know that all the nutrition is still there, fully intact, like live food. The plant powders are put into capsules. Our company has state-of-the-art perfection on vegan capsules. A lot of capsules have animal gelatin in them. We don't. And then there's an option for people who prefer to have a chewable. They're delicious chewables. We're going to talk about them more in a second. And then we have the full spectrum omega blend, which is omega rich algae, berries, and seeds instead of using fish. So it's a very clean product when it comes to the omega industry, which we're very proud of. So this is what it looks like when you're taking the fruit blend, the vegetable blend, and the berry blend, and the variety of nutrition that you're going to get from all of these different fruits and vegetables, all picked at peak ripeness. And look at the rainbow of colors that you see. And a lot of the design that was put into the products here, like you can see that in the garden blend, there's a little bit of lemon, which is really a fruit. And then in the berry blend, you can see that there's a little bit of cocoa, not necessarily a berry, but they've grouped these fruits and vegetables synergistically with intention, knowing that it's going to optimize the best results possible. An example of this is in the vegetable blend, there's broccoli and tomato. The benefits when you eat broccoli is wonderful. The benefits when you eat tomato, it's wonderful. When you combine tomato and broccoli together, it actually creates a bit of a superpower. And that's what the food synergy means, is when we're synergistically adding these fruits and vegetables together, it actually amplifies the value of nutrition that you're getting, because the vitamins and the minerals and all the nutrition that you're getting creates this superpower. It's like a higher frequency. And then we have our plant-based omegas. So they are omega fatty acids that help support lots of different health benefits, great for heart health, brain health, healthy joints, skin, and eyes. plus more. Really great brain food, especially for keeping focused. Really popular product for children who are working on their growing brains and staying focused on attention. And 100% plant-based, which we're proud of, pure and sustainable. It's a full spectrum. So with fish oil, you get omega-3. With the Juice Plus Omega blend, you get omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So again, it comes down to that full spectrum, the synergy, they work together. It's cold pressed, which is really important to know. We don't use any heat when it comes to making our omegas. And again, we're using that state-of-the-art vegan capsule. And I'd like to touch on why Juice Plus is unique. I was raised in a family where we had a garden. My mom was very heavy on the holistic side of things. So when I found out that Juice Plus had a food label instead of a multivitamin label, my spidey senses were tingling. My ears perked up a little bit. So it's great. We have a food label. We are made with entirely non-genetically modified ingredients. Everything that we have is vegan, it's kosher certified, and it's also dairy-free and gluten-free. It's also Nsf certified, which is really important. It means that it's third-party tested. So here in Canada, the products are actually tested from the company before we get them. It's tested at Health Canada, and it's tested with Nsf certification. So I know that when I'm consuming my Juice Plus products, it's been tested 3 times before I've had a chance to open the container and put it into my body. So the Nsf certification is also really important for a few reasons. What is on the label is exactly what's in the product. So you're going to see a list of ingredients, all things that you'll be able to recognize. So everything that's on the label is in the product. And then it's a two-way street because everything that's in the product is going to show up on that label. That's a really important thing to know, that there's no fillers and there's no traces of things like antibiotics or any sort of things that shouldn't be in there. It proves that we don't have any banned substances. And then it also makes it certifiable for sports. So for people who are professional athletes, NHL, Olympians, everybody's testing clean because it's just fruits and vegetables, and we have proof showing that. It's the most researched product in the world. And when I first heard that statement, I'm like, that's a pretty bold statement to make. And when you look into it, it's pretty amazing. I've read some of the science. There's over 40 peer-reviewed published clinical studies on the product, which is awesome because a lot of times when people make claims, it's on, like green tea is a perfect example. A lot of say, well, companies would say our product has green tea in it and green tea has been proven to do this. So they don't necessarily have research on the product. They're referencing research from green tea, whereas our company has that research that's been done on the product itself. So those are pretty incredible uniquenesses when it comes to searching and looking and choosing your nutrition products. Juice Plus is not about treating or curing specific diseases or conditions. Basically what it's doing is it's creating healthy cells. And when you have healthy cells in your body, it's going to help prevent, it's going to help treat, but it's not going to be anything specific. It's just creating healthier cells. It's a healthful plant-based nutrition. It's highly concentrated to deliver a powerful nutritional punch. And it's been supported by over 20 years of independent research. We're going to share where that research is done. So the type of research that we use, it's called gold standard research, and it's all done at leading hospitals and universities. You can see the list here. Yale's on there, Harvard's on there, University of Toronto's on there, MD Anderson, which is a cancer research institute. Like, there is a lot of really reputable places that wouldn't put their names on the line for a nutrition company. So you can rest assured that the evidence and the research is solid. And anybody who wants to look it up, we can share those studies with you. The gold standard means that everything, well, I shouldn't say everything, most of the studies are randomized. And if they're not, it's intentionally for a reason why they wouldn't be. And it would show that in the research. Most of it's randomized. It's double-blind, placebo-controlled. It's tested on the product itself. They use human clinical trials. It's just fruits and vegetables, so why not just use humans? And it's in published peer-reviewed journals. It's all done ethically. What's really important to know is the publications. When you get to a point where your research is actually published in medical journals, it means that they're onto something with the product, because you can have lots of scientific research, but there is a big difference between having the research and actually having it published. When it gets into that publication, it's like the next level. And we have it, over 40 different publications. So some of the research results have attracted thousands of doctors, and Cheryl, she got to see a little bit of that recently with a conference that we just had. She was a guest at our conference, and there was some doctors that got up on the stage and shared how amazing, specifically in their practice for pre and post surgery. Like, that was just one example of the amazing stories that they shared with us. So lots of doctors and healthcares love our product because we have the research to back it up. Some of the research shows that it contributes to cardiovascular wellness, supports healthy inflammatory response, supports quality of life, supports healthy cholesterol, LDL, and triglyceride metabolism. It positively impacts the gut microbiome and digestive health. When you have a healthy gut biome, you're also thinking better. There's a lot of connection going around these days with that gut brain, right? So you can rest assured that when it's positively impacting that gut microbiome, that you're going to be feeling better up here too. Supports healthy lung function, supports healthy skin and gums, supports the immune system. Kind of a big deal in the last couple years, I would say, with that one. Helps support and helps maintain healthy DNA. When I first saw that, I'm like, really? You can actually consume something every day that's going to help protect my DNA? Okay, sign me up. It helps to reduce oxidative stress, which we already shared a bit on. It's better absorbed by the body, which we also touched on as well. Absorption is really important. There's a lot of science out there saying it's not necessarily about what you eat, it's about what you absorb, and Juice Plus is very easily absorbed. And it also helps to improve several key cognitive processes. So that's that thought pattern again, right? The focus, less brain fog. So there really is nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. You're not going to find a prescription out there that's going to have the research like this kind of research. It just doesn't exist. And that statement comes from a doctor, Dr. Richard Du Bois, who has studied for decades on health and wellness. And we have a few webinars from him. He's a pretty amazing guy. All right, as we go along here, so the Healthy Starts for Family program is where we can actually, with every adult who signs up to start taking Juice Plus, they can actually sponsor a child for free between the ages of 4 and 18. If they're in post-secondary school, we can usually squeeze them in to the program as well. I mean, it's free for your kids. We are the family, or we're the company with a big heart. Our company provides, with every adult order, the opportunity to get our products into children for free. And all that research is going to benefit these little bodies. So what the research is showing is that 61% of children were eating more fruits and vegetables, 71% were consuming less fast food and less soft drinks, 66% were visiting the doctor less, 56% were taking fewer over-the-counter prescription drugs, and more than 1 million families have participated in our family health study. It's the biggest health study that's ever been done on children. We're so proud of it. So yeah, between the ages of 4 and 18, including full-time college and university students, they'll receive Juice Plus for free for up to 4 years with an adult order sponsoring them. And families take Juice Plus for at least 1 year consistently, then they will fill out this survey, and that's where we get the feedback from. It's an incredible program. The complete, so all the Juice Plus products would be considered micronutrition, which is like, if you think about a car, that would be considered like the engine oil in the car. The complete is what we would consider on that car analogy, like the gasoline. So that's the energy, the food that's going, this is the macronutrition that's going into our stomach and it's acting as fuel. It's all vegan. It's made with non-GMO ingredients. It's gluten-free. It's dairy-free. It's a great source of protein, great source of fiber. It's considered to be low glycemic, which is amazing for anybody who suffers from diabetes or thinks they may be pre-diabetic or wants to stay away from getting diabetes, because it helps to stabilize that blood sugar. The ingredients are incredible. They taste delicious. I've tried other shake mixes and I always thought smoothies were gross until I found the complete. The ingredients are awesome. We've got broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, chickpea powder, millet, quinoa, amaranth, pea protein, rice protein, water washed soy, and mushrooms. The mushrooms are kind of cool feature because they're sun-dried mushrooms. We actually have vitamin D naturally in our Juice Plus Complete. And coming out of winter, living in Canada, vitamin D is such an important part of our diet. So yeah, it's great. We make protein balls with it all the time. It's very versatile. It's a great swap to get rid of the highly refined sugars and flours. Throw a scoop of the complete in when you're making your recipe, and it's delicious. The safety of soy. So there is soy in the products. It's not by accident. We put it in there intentionally because of the great cancer protective qualities around it. I don't know if you've heard any controversy over soy in the past, but it is old research and it is probably an opinion piece and not based on hard concrete science. It is very cancer protective. Soy has a quality about it that's called apoptosis, which means cell death. And you would think that that sounds wrong, but we actually want our cells to go through a life cycle where they die. When our cells stop dying, it means that they're starting to mutate and form into abnormal growths or abnormal anomalies. So that apoptosis action that we get when we consume soy is very cancer protective. And another thing that we learned at conference, and Cheryl may remember this, is when they talked about the blue zones. If you've ever looked up science on the blue zones, most of the people who live in those areas aren't on that very first slide that I showed you when it talked about cancer and heart disease and all that kind of stuff. They are healthier people, and a big part of their diet comes from soy, but it has to be quality soy. The whole soybean that we use is minimally processed. Again, it's non-GMO, it's grown without any chemicals, so it's a really clean source, and it provides the most balanced defense against disease. So not just cancer, but it does get that controversial aspect in there. If anybody would like some science on that, definitely reach out to whoever shared this video with you, because we can get you some of that scientific evidence to show you and you can read through it. This is a Juice Plus Perform. We don't have it yet in Canada, but it's on its way. I'm so excited for this product to come because it is a high protein shake mix formula that is very sought after in today's world. And it was also very intentionally made. The ingredients are very specific because they are going to help support and preserve muscle maintenance and growth. It has naturally occurring B vitamins supporting energy production and mental performance. And I love that it has naturally occurring B vitamins because most people are deficient in B vitamins. So to be able to get it from a natural source like this, which is food, It's pretty amazing. And those B vitamins are coming from the beetroot and the tart cherry, which are also going to help with recovery from working out, or any sore muscles or stiffness, really. It's also NSF certified for quality and safety. It's also gluten-free, vegan, non-dairy, non-GMO, and only 6 grams of natural sugar per serving. So it's high protein, low sugar. Lots of people are looking for that today when it comes to a nutrition product. It's a plant-powered performance shake that works as hard as you do. It comes in a berry flavor, so it helps to fill that gap between our chocolate and our vanilla. So really the whole concept with using or choosing these products as your nutritional support is it's bridging the gap from, you can see on the one side, what you probably eat to what we should be eating. And I know that things on the one side of the screen are going to slip in, but knowing that you're getting the nutritional support from, what are we at? Like we're at, with the essentials, you're at 40 different fruits and vegetables, like 55, a variety of 55 different fruits and vegetables into your body every day, just the nutrients without all the sugar content. It's pretty amazing. It's such an easy way to fill the gap when it comes to our products. So we're going to go pretty quick for the last little bit here. When you jumpstart your health with our company, you're going to get great support by being able to be a part of our program, which is called Shred 10. It's 10 simple guidelines to follow, and they really are lifestyle guidelines that you could follow for the rest of your life very safely. You're going to get group support. You're going to get free resources like the cookbooks that you see on the screen and the shred guide. There's all kinds of fun support that we're going to help offer to anybody who wants to try the products. The shred the food, shred the toxins and the bad habits that are not serving you. So this here is an image that I love to share because it talks about the difference between dieting or over-exercising versus cleansing. So our fat cells surround is a protection mode from harming our organs. When we have an excess amount of toxins in our body, the safety mechanism, what happens is our body wraps it up in a fat cell and stores it away. So all those dots on the top part of the screen there are impurities. And when you burn fat, what happens is those impurities aren't necessarily getting the nutritional support that's needed to be able to detoxify or release those toxins. So they get re-entered back into the bloodstream, and you end up getting thinner, but there's a real high risk of rebound because our body starts to go back into that defense mechanism of wanting to wrap those impurities back up in a fat cell and tuck it away. So this is a great example of why dieting or over-exercising and not necessarily focusing on clean nutrition, why there's that big yo-yo all the time when people do diets. And then when you take a look at what our products do, they actually go in and cleanse, which is why most of the people who join us with these nutrition products have sustainable long-term results, because we're not only going to increase our exercise as part of our program, but we're also giving our body the nutritional support that it needs to be able to release and let go of the toxicity that's in our body. I did hair for over two decades, and one of my biggest challenges was stubborn weight. Every year I was gaining weight. When I retired from my hair business, it was a way for me to be able to detoxify without that constant burden again of that toxic exposure, that cycle of my body wanting to protect because I wasn't getting enough nutritional support in my diet. So when you do get that nutritional support, you're getting overall better health, you're getting less fat, you're going to live in a leaner body and a less chance of being, in that rebound yo-yo. So it's not just about being skinny, it's also about being healthy. And again, we've got lots of resources, personalized support, lots of fun, health events. Our Canadian team, which is really spread all over the world. We have lots of people all over the world who are part of our Canadian team. And we really have like one of the best leaders sharing our healthy living lives every Tuesday. So we've got lots of support for you that way. We've got the group wellness group for that. I'm going to share that at the end. Lots of tools, ebooks, webinars. Like if you want to know more, we're the right group for you. Tower Garden is something that you already saw a picture of mine earlier. And it's the future of growing, especially with some of the things that are, going around in mainstream media around food supply. So this is an opportunity to take more control over growing your own food all year long. I have the Flex Tower Garden, which is the one with the green base on the bottom. I have 3. I'm growing one in my basement with tomatoes and peppers, all the bigger stuff. I'm growing one in my dining room that has all my greens, chives, basil, lettuces, romaine. They are incredible and they are so efficient. Plus, if you're environmentally conscious, you're going to love this because they use 98% less water. They use 90% less space. They have a 30% higher yield, which means it's going to grow faster. It's safe because it hasn't been sprayed or touched by anybody but me when I'm growing on my own tower. And it's actually more nutritious. We have some science that they've done. The Tower Garden was actually NASA approached Disney and said, we need to figure out a way to grow in space. And that's how the Tower Garden was born. So it's really cool technology. It's really super affordable. Once the timer for the water pump is set up, it waters itself. Once the timer for the lights is set up, they come on and off every day by themselves. Really, the only thing that you have to do religiously once your tower is up and running is eat off of it. They're really amazing. So yeah, we invite you to join Juice Plus. There's a few different ways that you can become a customer, you can become a partner and share with other people like I'm doing with you guys tonight. And then at some point, if you want to look at earning an extra income, the opportunity is there. And then you can share the gift of hope with others too. Join our mission and inspire healthy living around the world. That's what we do. That is our company mission, inspiring healthy living around the world. So we already kind of touched on what makes our products unique. Just a quick recap. It's got a food label. It's got the Nsf certification. It's got more research than any other nutrition product in the world. It's highly recommended by doctors. It's the largest selling nutritional product of its kind. And it's free for kids, teens, and college students through our Healthy Starts program. Those are pretty awesome features. And then if you're interested in taking a look at what the business opportunity might look like, you're going to be supporting and sharing a quality brand name product, tried and proven business system. We help people build a network with the Juice Plus company, and it's a home-based business, or it's actually a work from phone or work from anywhere type of business. It's consumer to consumer, which is incredible. We're cutting out those big box middle stores. You get your own website, we get you on the social channels. It's something that you can do as a texting program. If you like texting, there's lots of support that way. At top level, you get a benefits package. And as a business owner, business owners don't usually get benefits packages, but that's available for upper leadership levels. It's a robust technology infrastructure. Our websites are beautiful. We have an app coming out soon. We've got lots of support when it comes to that technology. Great business support center. We're in, I think we're in 27 or 28 different countries. So depending on where you are in the world, you can grow a business. And then lots of mentoring, of course. So you can share and change lives, share as you live. We incorporate the Juice Plus business organically into our lifestyle. It's a simple way to flood your body with over 30 different whole foods every day. You can share it on social media. You can build a following by sharing those experiences and recommendations. And we're all based around education. So there's lots of opportunity to learn more. And it really is simple. It's sharing a video, it's inviting people to events, and it's sharing resources. After that, it's up to the consumer. on whether or not they wish to participate or not. But it really is that simple. So the amount of your Juice Plus business earnings is a reflection of the number of people you are helping, which I love, because one of the things, if you remember from my story, when I was doing really incredible in my hair business, I was making more money for my employer. They were benefiting from it. And what I love about this company is that the more people I'm helping, the more people I'm making. Or sorry, the more money I'm making. All right, this is our last slide. So we have some upcoming events. In 500 families, this is our wellness community that we love to share and love on people. And we have a weekly Healthy Living Live series. Tomorrow night's feature is helping busy families with their meal planning. So if you're interested in checking that out, we can make sure that you get into that. And then we also have another 2-week workshop coming up where we're going to be talking about salads, smoothies, and squats. I'm going to be hosting that one in another group. Going to be a very intimate group, and I'm going to be sharing some pretty cool recipes. I'm going to be sharing some pretty cool, easy exercises. I've got a green monster smoothie. I've got a belly blaster smoothie. Like, we're going to be sharing some pretty high quality, value rich things in that group. So if you're interested in being a part of it, make sure you let the person know who has shared that with you. All right, we are at the end. I am going to stop the recording, and then I'll see if you guys have any questions. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so those who are watching the recording, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate you, and if there's anything we can do to help further support you, whoever shared this video with you is going to reach back out. And if you're interested in next steps, they're going to let you know what that's going to look like. So thanks for being here, and we'll talk to y'all soon.